Welcome back, Shalligators. Today, we are talking about Scott Disick and Kourtney Kardashian. I feel like we talk about them all the time. But like I always say about the Kardashians, they're just this fountain of life lessons. Like, how can we not? And who is more of like the perennial fuckboy than Scott? Apparently, what's going on now is Scott is like really struggling with Kourtney's unexpectedly very serious relationship with Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker. And man, ain't that always what the fuck boys do? Oh, you want me? He said, oh, wait, you're a good girlfriend to me. You have my kids. Like, you're there for me and supportive. No, thank you. I would love some, like, random pussy. Oh, but wait, now someone loves you? I need to have you back. Whether or not we have dated Scott Disick, and at this point in time, there's a good chance you might have, because especially if you're, like, under 21, you've probably experienced this. What do we do? No. Before that, what does it even mean when an ex suddenly comes out of the woodwork just as you moved on? Whether you're in a serious relationship or not. I mean, we all know it's like this old joke with women. It's like they can smell when you're over them. They're like, wait a minute, I can detect she's over me. I need to go ruin her life, right? I will tell you the actual science, I mean, sort of science, like the data behind why this happens, because there really is a reason. And moreover, like, how do we know if the guy's like legit? Because sometimes, you know, this is human nature. We don't know what we got till it's gone. And sometimes seeing your ex in a relationship is the thing that wakes you up and you're like, holy shit, what have I lost? But sometimes it's not. And I'll tell you the difference between those two and how we can deal with it. Before we get started, just want to remind you guys, I never talk about this, but it means a lot to me when you guys comment here because that boosts my rating in the YouTube algorithm. And since this is free content I don't put out, it is a way that I make more money. So if you want to support the videos that I do and being a Shalligator in general, just drop a comment, hopefully a positive one, not be like, you look fat today. Just maybe not that one. And also like and subscribe, and feel free to share this channel with other girls. You know, we're pack builders over here. This advice, whether you like the Kardashians or not, it's usually applicable to yourself or someone that you know. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at shallonxo. And if you want some like spicier videos, sex tips, hookups, Evil Week, where we learn how to be manipulative and quite frankly evil. It's not an ironic name. Head on over to flays.com. It's our uncensored ad-free platform where we talk about things YouTube will not let us. And if you want a one-on-one chit chat with me, head to my website, shallonlester.com. You can click the link in the bio and submit a question and I get back to you. Okay, Scott and Kourtney. Let's go to the tape. Let's read. It's not a tape. It's a People magazine article. A source tells People that Scott, who's 37, has struggled and been jealous of Kourtney's past romances, but recognizes a difference in her relationship with Travis Barker, who's 45. With Travis, he's struggling even more. Before Travis, Kourtney's relationship were never serious. They're more like flings. But with Travis, it's different. This is a source. We'll get there. Scott is pretty shocked when he found out that they're dating, and he can tell that they've moved really quickly. His kids love Travis, which is also hard for Scott. Kourtney and Travis are like a family with the kids, and Scott is having a hard time with the situation. Scott also has many regrets regarding his former relationship with Kourtney, who's 42. He knows that he messed up their relationship and let her down. I love that they say it like singular. He messed up once or an infinite number of times. The limit does not exist. For a long time, he hoped they would end up back together. Okay. This is what pissed me off. He hoped they'd end up back together. What? How does that happen? They just end up and we end up. Like the writers in the writer's room, they just like write that into season 9 of our romance together. They just like, we just end up back together. That someone else was controlling this relationship. I don't know, just end up back together. Whenever I've ended up somewhere, let's talk about this in a logistical way. Ending up, but like in a car. Oh God, I ended up at the wrong place. Do you know why you ended up somewhere? You probably weren't driving. I ended up on like 200 Trillionth Street in New York City because I was on the wrong subway and I ended up there. I wasn't in control. That's a phrase we use when we can't control the outcome. I don't know, I just like ended up getting shingles or cancer, you know? We cannot apply that term to relationships because they don't just end up. We're in the fucking driver's seat. We're not just along for the ride. And if we have that idea that we are simply a passenger in our own life, come on. That doesn't really seem to be Scott's vibe, you might be thinking. But isn't it? Isn't he the king of, not really taking responsibility for himself. I mean, I think he's demonstrated a ton of self-awareness in the last few years, but behavioral shifts? He's dating a 19-year-old. He's dating a 19-year-old. I'm sure he's still drinking just as much, doing whatever. He's just doing it in private. He's just gotten the memo like, I can't do that at a casino in Atlantic City. He actually, one time, this was the best. This was in his like heyday of like mayhem. There was a casino in Connecticut. What's it called? Like Mohegan Sun, I think. He was hosting a party there, and our entertainment editor, it's Star, went and took his wife. Our entertainment editor. And it's not like a guy you would know just walking down the street. But that's kind of the point, is maybe you should just treat everyone you meet with respect. I'm saying this because Scott Disick started popping off at Matt's wife. And she was like, buddy, like, I'm not trying to be like, do you know who I am? She's like, you really don't want to do this. My husband's right over there. And he looks at Matt, who's not like some big jacked guy. He's like, what's that pussy gonna do? Like, he was just on his bullshit. And Matt's like, you don't want to do this, dude. And he's like, oh, why? What are you gonna fucking do? And he's like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you honestly don't know who I am. Like, I'm telling you, you don't want to do this. Just apologize to my wife and walk away. Just apologize and walk away. And I always remember the Scott incident where he shoved the money in the waiter's mouth. He didn't do that, but he was in that phase. And Matt was just like, I warned him. I warned him twice. And he wrote the most scathing cover story about him. And it's like, good. Where's I going with this? Oh yeah, why he probably doesn't do this in public anymore. But he's still a douche. She's still dating teenagers. Now look, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying to yourself. If you're a hater and you're watching my videos to hate watch them, weird, go eat some fruit. Do 5 minutes in the plank position. You're probably thinking, Shallon, you date younger guys. Yeah, first of all, like I always say, they're not teenagers. But I'm also not dating 22-year-olds and then trying to fuck up my ex-husband's life if he's moving on. I'm not doing that. Scott is still very immature, as evidenced by the fact that he's dating young people. I am too. I know that. I know what I am. I know that I'm immature. I'm in an immature phase right now. But that's the thing. I don't go and mess up the lives of someone who I used to date or be married to. Like, we didn't work out. Okay, I'm moving on. So the fact that Scott has this laissez-faire thing, like, we'll just end up together, it tells me, again, he's not taking responsibility for his role in how a relationship can end up in a positive place. What that actually means is, I was sort of hoping Kourtney would either forget what a fuckface I'd been, or she would be so desperate and lonely her standards would lower, or she just kind of is in the mood to fix me still. If a guy said that to you, if your exes come out of the woodwork, I always thought we'd end up together. What if he actually said those things that I just said? I was kind of hoping your standards were lower. Are they lower? I was kind of hoping you just would like be super into putting up with my bullshit again. Because, I haven't changed. No, I haven't changed. But I was just hoping I was hoping you have changed for the worse to allow my stuff into your life. What if that's what your ex texted you? Because we always have to read between the lines, right? People are not going to come out and say that. People are not going to come out and say, you know what, I'm actually just not that into you. I'm busy, I'm stressed with work, I'm traumatized from that T-ball game my dad missed when I was 4. They're not going to tell you the truth. We have to be smart enough, wise enough, woke enough, not in this leftist way, to read between the bullshit and be like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I'm not buying it. No, I'm seeing it, I'm not buying it. Thank you, next. Because if we don't, and we believe someone at face value, or worse, so much worse, we project our own fantasies onto what they're saying. I always tell you guys, like, I've spent so many years apologizing and making excuses for guys who didn't even care enough to apologize for themselves. Oh, I know he's sorry. He's not going to do it again. What am I basing that on? Something he told me? No. Well, sorry, Shallon, is not actually an apology, nor any sort of assertion of change in behavior. But I was so desperate to hold on to someone. I'm like, it's fine. No, he's really stressed. And like that T-ball game when he was 4. So he's still like recovering from that, triggered. And where did I end up? Brokenhearted, angry, resentful. Who was I angry at? Myself. Because on some level, and I didn't even have a name for it. I wasn't connected enough to it to be like, this is my fault. This is my fault. The writing was on the wall. I was like, la, 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 la. I'm not going to read it. or I assumed there was behavioral shifts when there was no data point to support it. There wasn't even a lie to support it. He wasn't even bothering to bullshit me. Scott is not even bothering to bullshit Kourtney. Let's see what he said on the show to Kourtney. I feel like I don't like seeing you with another guy. Am I getting his voice right? It hurt me when you were with somebody else and waking up to like looking at pictures of you with this guy you were dating. You know the voice. It was just unhealthy and it made me upset and sad. You know what I mean? And now I wake up with no real problems. I'm like carefree in the sense I don't have that, which used to take up a lot of space in my mind all day. I don't really understand what he's trying to say. The big fear is if you started dating again, then it goes back to that. And I have to feel like a different way again. And it's just hard. It sucks. I guess now that you're single and I'm single and you haven't been with somebody in a bit, either we figure out creating our own lives together or separately. Okay, so this was him saying that to Kourtney before she got together with Travis, because the show was filmed, you know, a few months ago and stuff. Oh, can we talk about that thumb sucking video? She was like sucking his thumb. Hot take, I don't want to watch any human adult suck on any object, animate or inanimate. I don't want to watch an adult suck on a chicken wing bone. That's the horror of being in a relationship. At some point, you order chicken wings. You have to watch the other person eat them. I don't want to watch an adult suck on a lollipop or a thumb or a penis or anything. I don't really want to watch it. It's not the kind of porn I gravitate towards. Kourtney, ugh. I get that they're in love, but like, it's PDA. I always say PDA is like whistling. Whistling is great for the person doing it. They're like, I'm having so much fun. And for everyone else around, it's agony. It's just, they're like, can you stop whistling? It's pure agony. And same with like watching someone make out or suck a tattooed finger. But we're not talking about sucking. We do on Flays though. I've got a great video on blowjob tips. So going back to what Scott said to Kourtney in that episode, like, you know, we're both single. We should figure out our lives together. Bro, this is not the way to get a woman. It's like, well, here's a marriage of convenience. You happen to be both single and I'm single. This was like a pact we made with our gay bestie when we were 16. If at 30, when we're 1,000 years old, we're both single, we're gonna get married and have a platonic baby, right? This is not the pitch to win a woman back. If an ex said that to me, it's like, well, you're single and I'm single. Be like, okay, we both walk upright. I walk upright and so does that guy over there. Should I be with him? Like, what the fuck is this Venn diagram you're trying to make? Is this supposed to like woo me? No. He didn't use that crucial gap, that crucial opening that he had, that window, to sell her on the Scott Disick dream. Look at how I've matured. Look at how I've progressed. And maybe he's doing this behind the scenes. I think she's probably just at the end of her rope. You know, you just get enough data and you're like, it's exhausting for me to think about dealing with you romantically again. It's not fun. It's not stimulating. It's not comforting because you were always a shitbird. And that's always in the back of my mind. So it's like, then what is it? Nostalgic? Nostalgia is the most dangerous emotion. It's the most dangerous emotion. It drives us to the absolute worst and most toxic decisions. It gets us pregnant. It keeps us in relationships that have long since run their course. I'll never forget on an episode of Murder, She Wrote, that's right, Jessica was like, but I've known them for 25 years. And her friend, the sheriff, is like, no, you met them 25 years ago. There's a big difference. Blew my mind. Murder, She Wrote always blows my mind. But it's true. When an ex comes creeping back, are you looking at the snapshot of who he currently is? Or are you rifling back through those memories? Are you looking at the snapshot of what it was? And maybe what you view as it was wasn't even the case. So much of nostalgia is completely false. It's like a game of telephone. The message that starts, the true message, is not what comes out the other end. Our memories massage and massage and massage. And we talk about this with Hurt Lockers. I talked about this when I saw my huge Hurt Locker a few months ago and how I got over it. And I was like stunned seeing him because I'm like, you're just a guy. You're just a man. But he had been a god in my mind prior to seeing him. I was like, anyway, the point is, the emotions that are being played on when your ex comes slithering back might not even be accurate. So pull back and ask yourself, am I imagining the way things were? Or am I imagining the way they actually never really got to? Or maybe there were like flashes of that. Those good times, maybe they were literally 15 minutes here and there. The rest of the time, I was stressed over what I was texting him. I was worried about where he was. He was ghosting me. He was being mean, spiteful. What are you telling yourself to give this guy a foot in the door? But let's talk about the circumstances this comes wrapped in, right? You've moved on. Remember I said that there's like data about this? Okay, there is. It's Shallon data, but this is data nonetheless, right? It's true that guys can smell when we're over them. It's like this, they can smell bacon, desperation, and when a woman has moved on. And literally none of those three things. God knows they can't smell their own bodies. But why does this happen? Because when a guy dumps a girl, he starts up here. Oh my God, I'm so free. This is so fun. Oh, there's no one to hang out with. Wait, I've got a cold. Nobody's here. No one wants to hear about my day. I'm so alone. I miss her. Right? It's a bad slide. We do it the opposite. We start low. I'm so sad. I miss him. Nobody's here to hear about my day. I have a cold. Away, going out's kind of fun. Oh my God, I'm so hot. I'm back. I'm free. Same trajectory, different outcomes. That's why when you're like, yes, freedom, he is at his absolute lowest, and that's when they come slithering back. And of course, we are going to be susceptible and vulnerable because this is what we've thought about. This is what we spent that breakup time thinking about, nursing and fantasizing about, like when he comes back, when he comes back. But is there anything truly sadder than a man who comes back too late? It's heartbreaking. It feels tragic. And you find yourself like, come on, go back to 2019. You can do it. Remember how much you loved him. Remember how obsessed you were. This is all you wanted. This is all you wanted. Remember, you visualized this. And now it's here. Come on. But that magic's just not there anymore, right? And whose fault is that? It's his. But spoiler alert, it's almost always his fault, whatever it is I'm talking about. So we don't owe these people a second chance. Second chances are for baseball. And you know what? Baseball is a stupid, boring game. I said what I said. It's a pastime. It's meant to pass the time. It was invented like 1906 when people had nothing better to do. Anyway, we don't owe a guy a second chance. And there is something, on one hand, validating when they see you've moved on with someone and here they come, you're like, But on the other hand, is it not so insulting? I have always felt so incredibly insulted. Like, first of all, the girl I am now on this guy's arm, same girl I was when I was on yours. Funny, smart, accomplished, rich, great tits, great in bed, whatever. I was all of this when you didn't see it. I haven't changed. You've changed? I could give a shit, dude. Like, whatever. Oh, cool, you've changed? Sorry, like, it's like Ricky Bobby says, if you ain't first, you're last. There's no points for like finally realizing it. Oh, wow, it took you 6, 8 months, 8 years, whatever it is, to see my value that this guy saw right away? And you expect me to take that as a compliment? Seriously. So it always has this layer of like, at first that validation and then the nostalgia, but underneath all of that is the deep, deep offense. It's so offensive when guys do this. And like, you only actually want me now that someone else does. Do you know how I feel? You know when I feel that? I feel that about my possessions. I feel that about food that I order. I feel it about food. Ooh, the pulled pork sandwich. No. I'm gonna go Cobb salad. Oh, Abby got the pulled pork. Damn it. Now I want that. No, it's fine, but now I want that. Right? That's very familiar. I don't feel that way about people. And I don't let people feel that way about me because that means they view me as a possession. Oh, I didn't want to play with that toy, but now I do because Bobby wants to play with it. My dog is like that. Cowboy only wants a toy when another dog wants it. That's the only time he cares. Do you want to date Cowboy? I mean, he's more of a man than a lot of the men we deal with. But seriously, that is the mentality of children and animals about inanimate objects. So you're dealing with something dumb, you know, like pretty low, dealing with something else that's dumb, inanimate, whatever. You're not dealing with two complicated, woke, amazing, wild, wonderful people. You're not. So again, we don't need to give this person time in our life. But you know, I know what you might be saying. I really miss him though. And we did love each other. And you know, he's been doing work on himself. And I do think that maybe this time would be different. This guy I'm dating, I don't fucking care. I mean, I like him, but it doesn't compare to what I had with him. I get that for sure. So let him sell you on that. Let your ex sell you on that. Say, look, I can see that this, you feel some type of way about this. I'm willing to have a drink with you. I'm willing to have coffee. I'm willing to hear you out. If he's like, hear me out, with what? Bye. He better come prepared with a plan. I've always said, when a guy wants a girl back, they do not mince words. I mean, when they really legitimately want a girl back, they've changed, things are going to be different. It's on now. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to fully commit and plug in. They do not want to risk you not knowing that. Would you? No. If we were trying to make a pitch to a guy, which we do not do because that's what men do for us, never chase, we would not want to leave a single thing on the table, right? I'm putting it all out there. I want you to know how I'm good. I'm different. The work I've been doing, I want to demonstrate it. I want to show you, right? If this was sports, you know, I love an analogy, and you'd been benched all season, but you've been working out, you've been practicing, you've been running drills, and your coach was like, Lester, we're putting you in. You wouldn't be like, oh, maybe I'll just like skate around the side of the arena and like lay in the goalie's net, even though I'm not a goalie. No, you'd be like, fuck yeah, this is my chance. I'm gonna show them what I can do. I'm gonna show them everything. I'm gonna leave no doubt in their mind that I am the one they want to put in. I should be number one here. Dating actually isn't different. We tell ourselves it is because we're fucking desperate and we need to work on our own self-esteem, right? It's true. I've been there. But it isn't different. And when we start saying that it's different, down go our standards, down go what we need, down go our self-respect, up goes resentment, up goes bitterness, up goes cognitive dissonance, where this situation does not match what I feel inside. And that's misery and that's stress. So let him sell you. Pitch me. You want me back? Pitch me. I've said that to exes. Pitch me. And I don't ask any questions. What's going to be different? Have you worked on this? If they don't know what they should be working on, then they haven't been working on it. I've got a job now. I'm making good money. I've stopped drinking. I'm no longer buying Coke all the time. If they can't tell me what's wrong, to the surprise of few, I am not an opaque communicator. By the time I'm done with a man, he knows exactly why. Unless he's not listening. And if he's not listening, well, fuck, you know what? I choose my words carefully and I never repeat myself. At least not to a guy. So, okay, you chose not to listen. You chose to basically call my bluff that I wasn't going to leave, that I was going to keep putting up with your fuck shit forever. Guess what? That's no. And just the fact that a man would try to call my bluff is proof positive he doesn't listen to anything I say. Do I seem like the kind of person who bluffs? Come on. So if you are relying on nostalgia, don't do that, right? Listen to what this guy is actually saying to you. Is he coming to you hard and fast? Hey, not a you up, how you been? I've been thinking about you. You're that athlete back on the ice, right? Go back to that analogy. If he's coming correct, I miss you, I've been working on things, I want to give it a shot, I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z, everything you need. You say, I'm willing to hear you out, sell me on it. I'm in a good situation. He doesn't need to know if you feel whatever about him. You're like, no, I really like him. And you know what? He doesn't shotgun White Claws at 8 a.m. He doesn't buy Coke. He doesn't, he's not unemployed. So what are you bringing to the table? This is genetics. This is how we are hardwired. There is no animal in the entirety of the animal kingdom where the female chases the male. None. Not one. Lions with the manes, ducks with the plumage, fucking peacocks, shiny frogs, those are all males because they're attracting the woman in. The penguin, they build a little penguin nest. Look at this rock I gave you. Every animal does this except for us. Why are we, the most advanced animal, not requiring this of our mates? Sell me, pitch me, contrast yourself against this guy. What the fuck do you bring to the table? Who are you to me? Why don't we require this? Why do we keep having kids with people who are not even pitching themselves genetically to us? Maybe if we were more judicious, we'd be a little happier. We've got to do something different because what we're doing is not working. I want to know when your exes have come back. Are you in this situation? Have you had this situation where they're like, they know I'm over it and they know? Like I said, like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. I appreciate it. And we're going to be back. We are going to be talking about Khloe Kardashian's bikini pic. I just need a day or two to like figure it out. And we're going to be doing it. I'll see you later, Gator.